Hello and welcome to Surplus School. Today we're going to talk about 8 ways the middle class waste money on non-assets. If you are new to our channel, please hit the subscribe button for more life-amazing videos. Now let's get into it. Although the middle class is said to be fading, they still make up the bulk of the socioeconomic spectrum and make the majority of the decisions. Unfortunately, most middle-class people are so deluded by the idea of financial security that they cannot distinguish between assets and liabilities. The assets or obligations owned by individuals are markers that define the different classes, according to Robert Kiyosaki, a well-known book author. This essentially indicates that your possessions determine whether or not you are wealthy. Therefore, stay tuned as we go into what the middle class believes are assets but are actually not. Number 8. Investing in occupations that you don't enjoy as a means of achieving financial freedom. Only the clever can compete for prestige and fortune. We sometimes invest in occupations that don't bring out the best in us without even realizing it, just for the sake of believing that if we keep doing that dreadful work long enough, we would finally achieve our life goal. This is merely a ruse to keep our thoughts entertained. Do you think investing money in your mediocre job will turn you into a millionaire? On the other hand, the middle and upper classes have contrasting ideologies. They stand out because they invest their money in activities that bring them joy. According to anthropologist Hadass Wise, the wealthy keep getting wealthier as a result of their thinking. Investing in your talents, hobbies, and what you enjoy doing can bring you a lot of benefits. Nothing is unattainable if you have a well-thought-out strategy and the necessary financial understanding. We must overcome the poor man's mindset, which leads us to believe that securing a secure 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. employment would provide us with our millions. Let's go out and pursue our aspirations. Nothing is impossible once you are free of the shackles of employment. So don't be afraid to risk everything in a quest of a higher position. You never know what the future holds. Number 7. Your home is your most significant liability. Most of us associate wealth with owning a large home and driving the streets in high-end automobiles. The truth is that owning a home is more of a liability than an asset. The well-known Rich Dad, Poor Dad has been lauded as a fantastic financial encyclopedia that has predicted the success of numerous hardy entrepreneurs. Unlike the majority of people, the upper crust has kept track of their assets and liabilities. Liabilities include things like vehicles, houses, and television sets, because they do not put money into your pocket, but rather take money from you. You'll be better able to avoid the blunders that the majority of the middle class make if you learn the art of managing your household finances like a business. To prevent getting caught up in such situations, we should invest more in our financial education and money in general. When it comes to purchasing your ideal home, don't forget to obtain expert financial guidance from professionals who can provide you with a better understanding of sensible and fair liabilities and assets. We make these errors from time to time due to carelessness. Before making such a decision, a wise guy will always inquire and explore. Only a fool thinks he has an answer for everything. Alright, I'd like you to do something for me. Now's the time to pause this video. And if you're new, please do me a tremendous favor by clicking the like button and then subscribe. If you did, you're wonderful and thank you so much for your help. Number 6. The middle class first spends and then invests. Imagine paying $50 to $100 a month to service your automobile loan when you could have put that money into stocks and bonds and earned a dividend. The smartest strategy is to put your money into investments as soon as possible so that you may start reaping the benefits of your assets' cash flow. To properly manage your cash and keep to your priorities and plans, you must exercise extreme discipline. Do you start spending as soon as you get your monthly paycheck? Or do you put your money into something? What about you? How does this work for you? Experts have shown that those who invest their money initially had greater rates of generational wealth, according to analysis of the actions we take with our money. The key is to stay constant, since in the end, the small investments add up to something substantial. Those of us who choose to spend first become prisoners to labor since they must work in order to meet their constant demands. Your buying and saving habits influence your social advancement. Some stories say our worth is determined by how much money we have left over. Adopting this will enhance our thinking and put us on the route to moving from the medium to upper class. The idea is to spend after you've invested. Even if you don't see immediate results, you will eventually see the value of this approach. Number 5. Formal education. Have you ever wondered why A students are assigned to work for C students? The middle class's fixation with education is disturbing. Perhaps they believe that their wealth is determined by their investments in formal schooling. If good grades were the key to accumulating riches, every summa cum laude graduate would be multimillionaires. Financial success has little to do with your ability to memorize textbook content, according to the mass affluent. Instead, they feel that learning certain skills such as how to invest or network with influential people will have a greater influence on their net worth. When compared to book smarts, street smarts have a better probability of succeeding. School is designed to prepare you for a 9-to-5 job, but broad knowledge equips you with the tools to face the world and explore other parts of life. Take a peek at some of the world's richest people if you don't believe me. They have only a rudimentary education. The majority of them are college dropouts who chose to pursue their passions rather than waste years in school. Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, and Michael Dell, the CEO of Dell Technologies, are two great examples. Universities are becoming obsolete by the day, so instead of taking out massive student loans that you won't be able to repay, consider taking an online course in your subject of interest to improve your abilities. If you're looking for some motivation, Bill Gates attributes a large part of his success to reading 50 books per year. So don't be afraid to teach yourself. Number 4. It is not a personal choice to become wealthy, but rather a matter of chance. The average person considers being wealthy to be a matter of chance and luck. As a result, not only their thinking but also their whole functioning is hampered. Many middle-class people attribute their prosperity to their professional abilities, property, and formal education, based on personal experience. This is a mindset that will get us nowhere in business and will keep us stuck in the middle class for the rest of our lives. If you can't break the ice and shift your point of view, you're doomed and will simply keep thinking about how fortunate your upper-class peers are. Once you accept the fact that you are ultimately accountable for your financial well-being, you are one step closer to financial independence. Simply find and fill a societal gap, and you'll be a billionaire in no time. Before you can carry out your strategy, you must first be able to persuade your mind, because you become what you think. It is critical to maintaining a happy attitude. Try brainstorming fresh ideas that have the potential to fill a gap in the entrepreneurial sector, rather than focusing on new ways to cut down on your grocery and monthly spending. Number 3. The more money you have, the worse your character becomes. The belief that money is the source of all evil continues to oppress the middle class. The more money you have, the more issues you'll have. Contrary to conventional opinion, this belief, in my opinion, is false. Money has the power to bring out the best in people and influence their life for generations. Unfortunately, most people associate tremendous wealth with vices such as greed, corruption, and oppression, among others. However, once you become acquainted with wealthy people, this is not the case. The truth is that it is not money that is the problem, but rather the individual. A person's actual character is only revealed when they have a lot of money. If you were greedy before, you would get greedier if you have financial independence, and vice versa. As a result, the goal is to purify our brains and change our ways of thinking. Money will most likely accentuate your virtues if you are a just and compassionate person. As a result, you should make prudent investments and learn to distinguish between humility and poverty. Number 2. Saving money instead of investing. The middle class tends to believe in a lot of different rules about how to save. People in the low and middle class are more comfortable taking less risk than people in the upper class. Many people think that by saving money, they have reached their goal of becoming rich. This is not true at all. However, the secret to wealth is to make money grow and not to save it. People love money because it is used to buying and selling things quickly and has a tendency to move around. So it should not be kept, but multiplied. People in the middle class often think money is hard to come by. Thus, there would never be enough, which led many people to cut back on spending and save more. This group of people is used to saving money in a piggy bank or a bank in the hope that it will make them rich for generations. Those in the middle class tend to have a lot of faith in banks, so they'd rather keep their money sitting around their bank accounts than invest it in risky businesses that promise big returns. This way of thinking isn't going to help you make any real money. The reason this is true is that most of the time, money has to be withheld for tax, leaving you with less money than you had planned to save. The banking industry standard is that banks use your money after you save it. What sources do you believe banks use to fund loans? They will almost certainly utilize your funds to fund investors with good ideas but little resources. Unfortunately, this keeps wealthy extremely wealthy, while the poor remain as destitute as they were yesterday. Number 1. Are white-collar jobs a good investment? A really perplexing subject, I'm sure, but it's a fact that your desire to continue with that corporate job because it pays well isn't guiding you to prosperity. The wealthy never work to climb the corporate ladder. Instead, they work to own the ladder. The middle class feels that without a job and a paycheck at the end of the month, there is no chance to get ahead financially. They want to start a profession because they were informed that in order to get work, they needed to acquire good grades and enroll in college. Instead, the wealthy attempt to establish enterprises that will eventually provide jobs for the middle class. The middle class's rigid mindset keeps them stuck and provides them from moving up the economic ladder. They also wind up being good errand boys for their employers and, in the process, billionaires. Regardless of how large your salary is at the end of the month, it's likely that your employer only spent approximately 10% of his billion to pay you that amount. The strangest part is that there's a strong chance you're better at your craft than your boss, which is why you were hired. Consider how much glory you could achieve if you only dared to start anything little of your own. The lesson is straightforward. Everyone should step outside of their comfort zone. Be willing to take tiny chances, no matter how insignificant you believe they are. This is the first step toward financial independence and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Doesn't that sound lovely? And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed and learned something from it. Don't forget to comment your thoughts below, share, subscribe, and give it a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching.